what I see on this art piece, I see two black guns being slanted with a black ink behind it with a white background and a camouflage handles grip around the handles, I guess. What do you see?
It looks the same. It's just, it looks like it was meant to be a painting. Maybe the guns are incorporated into the painting.
Okay. I think it's about a tragedy that the artist had faced or is facing with, as in he hold the two guns, or the guns were pointed at him, and he just wanted to make an art of how or what he saw at that moment.
It could just mean that he's trying to state a point, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. I really don't know why I came to this conclusion, but again, the way that he pieced this art form may explain the emphasis on why I think that it's shown or it's portrayed the way it is. Why I think that there's a meaning behind it, the way that I think it's because, again, guns have no real meaning behind it. It's just depending on the situation that it happens to be on. For example, if it's concerning you, you're going to take it the wrong way. But if it's according to history, then there may be a explanation of why so and so happened.
Well, most of the time guns represent like violence. Like, you look at a gun, you think violent event. So it could have been that something happened in his life that made him like put a connection between guns and violence, because other people find it as a recreation. Like, people that go hunting don't see guns as something violent. They see it as something like to spend their time, like free time, a hobby.
Right. My initial thought when I first saw it was an uneasy feeling because of how I came up to it. The guns were pointing straight at me, and of course I'm gonna be shocked if two guns are pointing directly at me. I had no real feeling or consciousness of what I was doing, just the matter of fact that I was shocked and had to take a second or so to realize how I could take the art.
It does bring a feeling of uneasiness because I've never held a gun, so seeing like two guns just pointed directly at me whenever I'm looking at an artwork, it does feel like weird. Like, it shouldn't be positioned that way, but the artist did it that way for a reason.
The reason why I feel like this feeling is because, again, the way that the artist made the guns be, as in slanted, with an ink blank background, as in blood stains that the guns have. So just basically the overall concept of how he made it portray makes me feel that way.
Yeah, he did the black ink does look like it should be blood. I don't know if maybe that's what he was going at, but that's what it does like show me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a good artwork from our perspective because there is multiple possible meanings depending on the person you're asking, and my view is just a raw feeling. But depending on the person you ask, they will have different opinions of the artwork and how it is good and how it is a bad one.
Yeah, if you were asking a kid, he'd probably think it was cool.
Correct.
My interpretation was somewhat on the spot. I did think it had to do something with trying to make a statement about society, and it somewhat has to do with that, because he did say that he did this because he was showing that we are so accustomed to seeing violence in everyday life that it doesn't really surprise us like it should.
Unlike my partner, my thought of this artwork was totally opposite. I thought it had to do with him and how he viewed guns, but to some extent it is what the artist tried to say through his art, that guns have an emphasis on today's society, and depending on how you see it or who you are, you're going to have different views on it, depending whether they're good or bad views. I mean, this comparison to what the real meaning is and to what my meaning is not. It's a good one because I came with the knowledge of not knowing what it was, and I came out with what he really tried to mean it as. There is a meaning behind. There is a meaning that guns have an influence, and they could be a positive one and a negative one, and yeah, that's how I interpreted this whole art. How about you?
The comparison, it did help to see, like, maybe I should try to see things from a different perspective, because it helps to see things from what other people were seeing, or hear what their side was of a piece of art. Not everyone sees everything the same way, of course, so it's good to see different perspectives and try to get different views of what people think.